Hello all, welcome to the Cletus Sports Show. My name is Cletus.
Hey, my name's D-Kelz, better known as D-Kelz. How you doing?
Alright, and today we're going to talk about the NFL, the upcoming season. Summer is still here, but fall is quickly approaching. The leaves going to start changing, and you know what that means. Football, the gridiron.
No doubt. Football, I mean, this time of year just make me think about, even high school football starting on this Friday, and then you go into Saturday, and then, a week from now you have the NFL starting, and it just, if you're a man, it's your time of year. You tell the wife and kids, hey, I'll see you in the winter. Because right now, this is football time, so let's get it popping,
Hey, you got a man's basement?
Well,
a man room? Maybe
my man room,
you know?
it needs to be upgraded some. But, right now it's more of a man cave,
Okay, all right.
I got the essentials in there. I had a big screen TV. I had a couch. I have a bathroom. But not all the fixings that make you feel like it's a true man room. But, I'm ready for football, though.
It's a dwelling. It's a cave. I hear you.
No doubt.
I'm working on it, too, though. So I guess we can get into, we're going to go to the AFC first. So what we're going to do, basically, we're going to go through the divisions. We're going to talk about who we think is going to win that division. Towards the end of the show, we'll give you our MVP of the league, too. I think people will want to know what that is all about. In our Super Bowl, the top two teams that are going to go into the Super Bowl, who's going to win the whole thing. So I'm going to get this party started. We're going to go with the AFC West first, okay? And Denver, of course. Peyton Manning.
Right on the limb.
Yeah, that's a big limb. Peyton's going for another Super Bowl run. I think he's going to get there again. On the team, they're full of offense and defense. Mm-hmm. You know how Peyton runs his team. I think Monty Ball is going to have his coming out party this season. One thing though, to keep in mind though is Wes Welker and those concussions. Mm-hmm. He's a big part of their offense. He gets their offense moving. Peyton always goes to him at certain times, mm-hmm. So that's going to be crucial. But the defense is going to be better. They grabbed Von Miller was going to be back. They grabbed a veteran, DeMarcus Ware. Talib, cornerback, is there. So they are going to stop people. So I thought that was one of their problems. The Super Bowl was just out of control last year. So they got out of hand too fast. But I got Denver going. San Diego's going to be tough. They're going to be a better team. I think they're going to be a playoff team, but they're not going to win that division. Kansas City don't have enough points. They're not going to be able to score. So we're going to go with what you think.
Well, in regards to the AFC, again, how could you not pick Denver? They were just coming off a Super Bowl run. They added a lot of key free agents. I will say this in regards to the AFC West, that it's not going to be a cakewalk. I believe that a lot of people look at it like Denver just going to run away from the division. I do believe that Kansas City, San Diego Chargers, and also the Oakland Raiders, I think they all will be more competitive this year.
The Raiders, really?
I believe the Raiders are going to be a better football team. They added Matt Schaub, and they added some defensive play. They got the rookie from the MAC, Khalil Mack. Okay. And I just believe that they're going to be competitive. They're going to be a hard-hitting team. Everybody's seen Denver's program, and I just believe they'll be better equipped to compete with them. But again, nobody's going to argue Denver, so we can move on to the next division.
Okay, I got problems with that Raider thing, though, but I'm going to move on. You just mentioned Matt Schaub, man. That's like mentioning a devil in heaven.
Well, I'm not saying that the Raiders are going to the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're going to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying that in the AFC West, where we're accustomed to just looking at Denver running away from the crowd, you're not going to see that this year.
Okay, in that division you're talking about.
In that division.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go to the AFC South, and I have my beloved Indianapolis Colts. I think Andrew Luck is coming into his own. He's going to stay getting better and better. The offensive line worries me a little bit, but I looked at the schedule. They have a vanilla schedule. Reggie Wayne is back. Okay, and that for leadership purposes.
I'm about to say, what,
for
40 years old?
Purposes. Yeah, they need that in the locker room. Though,
Like I said, Jesus just got back.
All
right, so Reggie.
Hey, you come on now, Reggie. I mean, Reggie. I'm just saying, just leadership. You know what I mean? He'll make a couple of critical catches too in the points of the season. But I just think they're the cream of the crop in that division. Houston, I'm not too key on them. I think there's a lot of conflict in the locker room. Andre Johnson does not want to be there. Arian Foster, he can't stay healthy to save his life. Also, Tennessee's going to be much improved, but I don't think they're going to be able to compete still, with Indianapolis Colts. So I'm going with the Colts.
Well, I mean, Colts are a nice pick. Everybody would expect Andrew Luck to have a breakout year, so to speak. I mean, given that now he's seasoned, he's been in the playoff. He coming off that remarkable game versus the Chiefs last year in the playoff. But where I disagree with you and where everybody, again, I see things a little clearer than most. The Houston Texans, who last year, they had a down year. They're going to bounce back this year. I liken them to similar to the San Antonio Spurs. Can you see that connection? You don't you?
No, only because they're in the same state.
Let me explain. Remember when the San Antonio Spurs had a bad year? They had David Robinson. He got hurt.
Right.
They ended up at the top of the draft. They picked up Tim Duncan.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, the team that was at the bottom of the league catapults to the top of the league, going on a championship run for years to come. Mm-hmm. Well, the Houston Texans were a team that was supposed to contend last year. But because Matt Schaub, your boy that you just called me out on,
your boy,
he threw a lot of interceptions last year. They got off to a bad start. Arian Foster had injury problem, and they fell apart, and I believe that it just spiraled out of control. Thus, they ended up with the first pick of the draft. They add Jadeveon Clowney to J.J. Watt and Cushing and all those guys. They're going to come back with a great defense, with a stellar running game. Fitzpatrick, their new quarterback, they'll be able to control the offense. I believe they come back and win the division.
Hold on, man. Are we talking football or basketball? Now, what one person on the football team does not make up the whole team. It's not going to make the difference unless he's maybe the quarterback.
Absolutely. But like I say, it's not about Clowney himself. I believe that whole unit underperformed last year. J.J. Watt probably the best defensive player in the National Football League. Now you have Clowney on the opposite side. They're hard-hitting defense. They've always been. Last year they underachieved, and in the NFL, once you get on the losing streak and you realize your season is gone, I believe a lot of teams start playing for the draft. And that's what happened with them last year. They benched Schaub, and then everything just went off the rail. But that's not a 2-14 football team, and I do believe that defense is equipped to cause the Indianapolis Colts a problem. It's a weak division with Jacksonville and Tennessee in it. Right. I think the Texans are going to come back and go all the way to the top of the division.
We're going to see about that, man.
We'll see.
This is already topsy-turvy right now. Let's move on.
All right.
The AFC North. AFC North, I got Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is, they're going to bring the steel curtain back. The defense should be better. Mm-hmm. The defense should be better. Roethlisberger, he played better towards the end of the year last year.
Okay.
He actually put up career numbers at the end of the year last year. So he's going to play better. He has to stay injury-free in order for him to do things. Overall, their offense should be better as well. Another thing is, like I said, they're going to be playing for pride's sake. They had a terrible season last year. Okay, terrible season, and I think that division is up for grabs. To be honest with you, you got Cincy over there. Cincy's a quality team, but I don't know about the coaching. Nor do I know about the quarterback, Andy Dalton. He's a little shaky at best. I don't put in too much emphasis on him. Now, Baltimore, I feel the same way about Flacco like I do about Dalton. Flacco had that good season where he made that Super Bowl run. I'll give him credit for that.
He won the Super Bowl.
He won the Super Bowl, okay. He had a good season,
All right.
But, I don't think he can top that. I think, for the rest of his career, it's down. It's going down, so I got Pittsburgh in that.
Well,
who you got?
To say that Joe Flacco's career is spiraling downward is just sort of ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you this. When you talk about this division, we're talking about adversity. All right?
Okay.
I believe there's good adversity and there's bad adversity. In the case of the Pittsburgh Steelers, in the case of the Baltimore Ravens, in the case of the Cleveland Browns, they've had bad adversity. Pittsburgh just had their top 2 running backs busted for marijuana possession. The Baltimore Ravens had Ray Rice with his chaos in the offseason, and now he has to miss the first 2 games. And then with Cleveland is the whole Johnny Manziel fiasco.
That's a fiasco?
On the flip side, Cincinnati adversity came through losing in the playoffs. Quarterback being challenged, are you good enough? That team is the most equipped team to dominate that division, and I believe that the Cincinnati Bengals not only will win the division, but they will contend in the AFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you one question, and this going to end everything.
That's it.
Who is Cincinnati's coach?
It's Marvin Williams.
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis.
Case closed.
Uh-huh.
Case closed. Let's move on.
That's a ridiculous statement. He took a franchise that was a laughingstock, and now they're a perennial playoff team. And see, you like most. See, a lot of folks out there, you got to get caught up in all the gibberish that you hear on sports radio shows and all. Marvin Lewis is a sound coach. Andy Dalton is a sound quarterback. That team is the most balanced team in that division by far.
I agree with you there.
And they're a hard-hitting defense. They have a good running game. They have A.J. Green and a lot of the guys that can throw the ball, that you can throw the ball to. They're 2 games better than anybody else in that division.
I just have a problem with their leadership. That's all. But we'll move on. We'll move on. AFC East, New England Patriots. That's an easy one. Pats are back. Pat's been here, really. Tom Brady is a surgeon. Strategically, he kills your defense. He's going to continue to do that. Rest of the teams in that division are on the outside looking in. It's been that way for a while. I know they lost Logan Mankins. But he was I think he was on the down spiral of his career. And I think that was a decent move, for them to get rid of him at that point in time. They grabbed a tight end, which they needed, another tight end. Okay. So that was a good move. And I can't, I'd be a fool not to mention about Darrelle Revis coming to the team. That's going to help them defensively a lot. And again, it's going to be a leader on the defensive side of the ball. So I have New England.
Well, it's, again, New England, it's a no-brainer. I believe Tom Brady is on a vengeance. I believe the last couple of years, people have kind of started to downgrade Brady as if his career has seen his best days. But if you notice in the offseason, Brady started talking about, I plan to play till I'm 40 years old, things like that. Brady is out for vengeance. He wants to get back to the Super Bowl. He wants to win another one. He wants to let everyone know that he's by far the best quarterback of this generation. It's not Peyton Manning. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Drew Brees. It's not Andrew Luck. It's Tom Brady. I believe they're making a statement this year. Belichick and Brady
you can argue that. But
are going on in the salt. And the rest of that division doesn't even matter. They all win 6-7 games tops. So you got the Patriots in that division.
Well, I will say this, and I'll be brief. Tom Brady, he won his Super Bowls at the sort of the beginning of his career. He hasn't. He's still playing at an all-time high, but the Super Bowl, I don't hear. I don't see any rings the last 5 years, 5 or 6 years. You know what I mean? So
Again,
it's debatable.
Again, he hasn't won the Super Bowl in some years, but he's been in 2 since then. They just happened to lose. One of the years they were 18-0 walking into the game and got upset by the Giants.
Upset?
So yes, so Tom Brady being on the decline means he just getting to the Super Bowl and losing. That's what we're talking about. I almost ready to go into the Allen Iverson mode. That's what we talking about, losing Super Bowl. We talking about losing the Super Bowl. That downgrades a man.
We gonna remember the runner-up or the winner of the Super Bowl. What we gonna do?
Tom Brady, best quarterback of this generation. Am I right or wrong?
Okay, he is.
Behind Joe Montana, he might be the best all
time. He's one of the best.
And
I can't call him the best.
This year, he'll be right back on that pedestal.
Okay.
Because I have him going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. I already see. I already dropped the marbles on that one. But that's okay. I'm going to tell you my Super Bowl pick for it, after we get done with this. We're going to go to the NFC. NFC West, Seattle Seahawks, baby. Come on now. The defense is back. Most of the people came back. Russell Wilson is getting better. He's going to play with a lot of confidence. The offense is going to be vanilla, especially with them losing Golden Tate. But you know, they'll be good. They'll still have a decent running game, and you know, their receivers are good enough to make things happen, especially with a Russell Wilson. But you got to keep Russell healthy because guess who the second string is?
Who is it? Terrell Pryor?
It's Terrell Pryor. I mean, I like Terrell Pryor, but I don't know if he can run that particular type of offense. You know, but that's okay, I guess.
Not a bad backup, man.
But you know, the secondary for them, Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, them boys back. And them boys, I think, are still hungry. San Francisco is going to be a close second, though. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. San Francisco is still going to be very competitive, and they're going to win at least one of those games between Seattle. But I just think that Seattle, you know, is just going to run through their schedule. They have a pretty easy set schedule. Arizona's going to be tougher, too. Arizona has went through some injuries, though. They were 10-6 last year, which I thought was an anomaly. You know, maybe it's not. They're going to have to prove that to me, though. Mm-hmm. But overall, I have Seattle Seahawks, NFC West.
You know, that's a dogfight in that division. You have the San Francisco 49ers and you have the Seattle Seahawks fighting it out. I believe this year San Francisco is the hungrier team. They're going to overtake Seattle for the division. Both teams make the playoffs. Arizona Cardinals will be tough and they'll be fighting for their wild card lives. But I'm going to pick the San Francisco 49ers. I believe Colin Kaepernick is going to have a breakout year. It's just he's due. They added some receivers with Stevie Johnson. They added to Anquan Bolden and Michael Crabtree. You have Vernon Davis. You still have Frank Gordon, and they drafted Hyde out of Ohio State.
That was a good pickup.
I believe and we know their defense is always going to be stellar. So I have San Francisco coming out that division, but Seattle's going to be right there with them. Two best teams, maybe in football.
I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. Okay, let's go NFC North. Boy, oh boy, this was a hard one. This was so hard for me because you got three competitive teams. I mean, I would put Detroit in the lower tier of those three, but I had to go with Green Bay only because they have the best quarterback in the division, and you know, your boy Aaron Rodgers, and my boy too. You know what I mean? So I had to go with Aaron Rodgers. I just think that you know, everything he does is just magic. It seems like, you know, it's for some reason Green Bay always has played as a team. Even after the, you know, well, kind of after the Vince Lombardi years, you know, well, when they had Brett Favre, they were a good team, and it just seems like that's in their psyche to play well. So one thing that may hurt them though is B.J. Raji, you know, being done for the season, because now they don't have that nose tackle that can kind of protect the middle. But I think that they'll be okay with that still though. They have a lot of weapons on offense. Okay. Now, you know, I thought about Chicago, but again, Aaron Rodgers is better than, what's his name? What's the boy?
Jay Cutler?
Cutler. He's better than Cutler. You know, same thing goes in Detroit. You know, I think Stafford is going to have a good season, but I still don't think he's better than Aaron Rodgers. I still don't think that he plays under pressure that well. You know, and these are things that's really not coachable. You know, I know they got a new coaching staff and everything, but you know, they still have to play football.
Absolutely. You know, again, the Green Bay Packers led by Aaron Rodgers. I believe Aaron Rodgers is, you know, bound to have an MVP caliber season. And if he's playing well, then the Green Bay Packers are a tough team to beat. Again, I believe those three teams, the Lions, the Bears, and the Packers are really going to fight it out for the division, but the Packers will prevail in the division. I think the true question is how many games can the Lions or the Bears win in second place to make the playoffs. I'm going to say that the Lions will make the playoffs as the second place team, chasing Green Bay, and it may come down to the last game of the year to decide the division.
So no playoffs for Chicago then?
They'll be done. Jay Cutler.
The Bully Bear. Okay. All right. Okay. NFC South, we have, well, I have New Orleans. Okay. Another thing about the quarterback, Drew Brees. Drew Brees is tried and true. You know, he's going to do what he normally does every year. He's going to put up numbers, and he's going to win. Okay. In that division, you know, I thought about Carolina, you know, but Cam Newton is not healthy. The receiving core in Carolina, I don't really like. I don't even know you know, who they are, to be honest with you.
And that's a problem.
That's a problem. And, you know, the chemistry, I don't think is going to be right between Cam and those receivers. You know, Atlanta, I checked out the Atlanta schedule. They have a tough schedule. You know, I don't trust the coaching in Atlanta. I know that Julio Jones is going to be back. He's healthy. But I don't trust the coaching, nor do I trust Matty Ice. You know, I used to drink Natty Ice, and I did not like it. And I don't like Matty Ice. So I'm going to go with New Orleans.
With the Division 1, I agree with you with New Orleans, but with me it's based on Sean Payton. As a tandem with Drew Brees, I think you can liken them to Belichick and Brady in some ways. There's a coach and a quarterback that's totally in sync. And I believe last year, coming into the year, Sean Payton had been suspended. And it took him a year, I think, to really get his team back under and going in the right direction. So I think it pays off this year. I believe Atlanta, much like I said with the Houston Texans, that team is a better team than they showed last year. And they're going to come back and really push New Orleans to win that division. I do believe that Cam Newton has a little too much pressure on him and not enough help.
Yeah.
And his defense is stellar, but I don't think they can score enough points to beat out the Saints and the Falcons. So I'm going to go with the Saints. But again, that Falcons team is a strong team, and they will compete for a playoff spot as well.
Yeah. You know what? Last but not least, I like Cam Newton, and I love the Carolina defense. I want them to do well. But like you said, I don't think they're going to be able to put up enough points. They're going to stop some people defensively, but they're not going to be able to put enough points up. I think they're a playoff team, though.
We'll see. Yeah. Only six can make it. I mean,
all right, now we got the.
Yeah,
you're right.
Let's do it.
The NFC East, I have Philadelphia Eagles, the city of brotherly love. They have a tough schedule. Tough schedule, but not impossible to win that division. They're going to be hard to stop on offense. They got to have so many weapons. They added Darren Sproles. They already got LaShawn McCoy. The real McCoy is what I like to call him. Macklin is coming back from an ACL tear, so he's going to be ready to go. I just think they too much offensively, and also defensively they're going to be a little bit better. They have a young defense, a young defensive line. They're still learning, but I think that they're going to make some things shake, in that division. I mean, come on now, Dallas. Tony Romo's coming off of a major league back surgery, and I just don't think Dallas is going to be enough. I like Dez Bryant, but Dallas is going to have a problem. Sean Lee is done for the season too. Washington, RG3 is not even the best quarterback on their team, so they're not going to do anything, in my opinion. I think RG3, I love him like a brother, but I think he's overrated.
Well, I'll say this. This is the division of mediocrity. I mean, any of these four teams win 9 games, I would be kind of impressed. I'm going to pick Washington almost in default. I disagree with you, what you're saying about RG3 not being the best quarterback on the team. Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins, what did he do last year? If you look at his numbers, he had the poorest passer rating in the league in his few opportunities to start. So, that whole,
That's not enough sample size. Though,
yeah,
man.
but
it's a small sample size.
Listen, you know what Kirk Cousins can do? Carry RG3 bags to the locker room. All right, so listen.
He gonna carry it to the car when he get waved.
Listen, if they're going to win the division, and it's going to be because RG3 is getting the ball to Deshaun Jackson, and they had a running back Alfred Morris. And I do believe that of those 4 teams, they're the most equipped to play good sound ball throughout the course of the year. I believe that the Eagles will come back to life. That whole college system that Chip Kelly is running, people will catch up to it this year. And so
you saying that's a fluke, huh?
No, they weren't that good last year, and I just don't think they're that good this year. They might go 8-8. They might go 7-9. But I believe Washington will go 8-8 or 9-7 and win the division.
Well, as RG3 goes, Washington goes, and I think RG3 gone, Washington gone. So that's
and you falling on Nick Foles, right?
Hey, let's do it.
At one point in time, Nick Foles was backing up
I know.
Oh wait, he was at Michigan State too at one point, right? And he didn't even get on the field.
But the system that they run is well equipped for what he can do. That's why I think he's going to be successful again.
Well, we'll see.
We're going to see. We're going to see. So, you know, he kind of spilled the beans on his Super Bowl team, but I'm going to spill the beans on mine. I have Denver coming out of the AFC, and I have San Fran coming out of the NFC. And I think it's going to be a very good game, but I think Peyton is coming back for what's his. And Peyton goes out on top, and Peyton retires. That's it. It's over.
And
it's over.
And who won the MVP of the league?
MVP? Who? Who you think?
I guess
Mr. Manning.
Mr. Manning. All right. I see San Francisco playing the New England Patriots again. Tom Brady is going to knock Peyton Manning out of that seat. But what's going to happen in the Super Bowl is the San Francisco 49ers will prevail. It'll be much like last year's Super Bowl. Dominant defense, pick off a great quarterback, but this one won't be a blowout because Tom Brady is greater than Peyton Manning. But the San Francisco 49ers will win the Super Bowl. The MVP of the league will be Aaron Rodgers due to the numbers he'll put up. But by the time it comes down to who's the champ, it'll be Jim Harbaugh and his Niners.
Okay, Harbaugh gonna hold it up, huh?
That's it.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, I can't. You know, that can be argued, but that's a good pick too. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. So we're all done here. What we want to do though is I'm gonna give you the email address so that if you have any questions or concerns, you got any comments, you know, who do you think is gonna win? You can reach us at fourthkey@yahoo.com, and that is FOURTHKI and @yahoo.com. So we out of here, y'all. Y'all see us soon. From your boy Cletus
and D-Kelz. Holla.
We out.